I do not know about you guys, but I'm very excited for this NFL season to finally get going because it feels like we've been waiting years and years for the season to get started. It hasn't been that long, but it's felt like it. So it's exciting that we're almost at training camp and the season's getting here. I just wanted to let you guys know I do have a second channel, a personal channel, where I'm going to put a vlog out in the next few days. If you want to see that, feel free to subscribe. I'll put it linked in the top of the description down below. Just sort of like a day of what I do here, making videos, other stuff. So if you want to see that, I'll put it out in the next few days. So subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss that video. But I want to talk about the Packers and why I think that if you're watching this and you're sleeping on the Packers, I just don't know if that's the right way to be thinking about this Packers team, to sleep on them, to think that they're not going to win the division, to think that just because we lost Devontae, the Packers aren't going to be good. I just don't think that's the right idea here, because I think that when you look at this Packers team overall, there are lots of reasons to believe that this Packers team can be one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl in 2022, and I don't think that's that crazy of a take to say that I think the Packers can win the Super Bowl. You may say, Luke, you're biased, you're a Packers fan. The Packers haven't won the Super Bowl since back in 2011, and Rodgers hasn't been clutch in the playoffs. You can say that. It's okay. But I do think this next season is going to be a year to be remembered. And there's one big reason why I think this is the case. When we look at that 2011 Green Bay Packers team, the biggest reason I think the Packers won that year was their defense. We were the second best scoring defense in the NFL. Clearly, the offense was good as well, with Rodgers, Nelson, Driver, Jennings, lots of talented players on that team. But the defense was really, I think, what held this team together that season. And just when we look at what the Packers have done this offseason, having the best secondary in the NFL with Jair, Rasul Douglas, Eric Stokes, I mean, this defense is going to be very, very good. Just considering last year we were the 10th best scoring defense in the NFL, and then you add in the improvements on the defensive line, which we made a video on yesterday, or I did, not we, it's just me, which we made a video on yesterday, adding Jaron Reed, adding Devontae Wyatt, then you add in Quay Walker at linebacker. This Packers defense, I think, could easily be a top 5 defense in the NFL, just when you look at all the talent added, year 2 of Joe Barry. Everything is really moving in line with this Packers defense being one of the best in the NFL. So you may say, okay, the Packers lost Devontae Adams, they're going to be terrible now, this offense is going to stink, which I think is, I just don't think that's going to be anywhere close to what happens with this offense. We still have Aaron Rodgers. We still have one of the best backfields in the NFL in Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And I do think that when you look at Aaron Jones, in the games that Devontae Adams missed, he was much more productive. The Packers used him a lot in the passing game. We saw last year versus the Arizona Cardinals when we were missing Devontae, Marcus Valdes-Scantling, Allen Lazard. The Packers targeted Aaron Jones like crazy. So I do think Aaron Jones is going to have a lot of production, especially this next season when it comes to the passing game. So I think that's something that's a little underrated as well. But then, too, all the weapons we've added. Christian Watson, he's a beast of an athlete, a monster of an athlete, 6'4", 4'3", 640. I'm excited to see how the Packers use him. I feel like we'll use him in a lot of different ways, maybe even to a kick returner, considering he did that as well in college. And so I think when you add in that, you add in Sammy Watkins, who hopefully will stay healthy this year. If he does, that's another positive for this Packers team. The Packers don't need to have the best wide receivers in the NFL to be one of the best offenses in the NFL. We've seen Aaron Rodgers produce without Devontae Adams in the past, and I think that this season in 2022, once again, we're going to see him produce without Devontae Adams. And so I'm curious to see what Devontae Adams does in Oakland, because I still think that he is a very talented wide receiver, but he is, downgrading a little from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr, but I still think he's going to be productive. He's definitely the best wide receiver on that team, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and he got paid like it. So, when Devontae Adams was traded, if you guys were watching this channel back then, I was shocked. I was very shocked the second that happened. I think we did a live stream for a few hours talking about that, and I did not see that coming. I thought Devontae would stay here in Green Bay. He did not decide to stay in Green Bay. He decided to go over to the Las Vegas Raiders, which I understand he seemed to want to be closer to his family over there in California. They had never really seen him play because Wisconsin, I guess, is a lot farther than Las Vegas from California. So I understand that. He also used to play with Derek Carr, his best friend in college. So I understand all the reasons Devontae Adams decided to go. But I still think overall, when you look at this Packers roster, even on the offense, where people say that they're going to struggle without Devontae, I just don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think we've seen anything in the past that would indicate that just because Devontae Adams isn't playing, this Packers offense is not going to be good. Are there uncertainties? Yes, there are uncertainties because lots of these receivers just haven't been here in this offense in Green Bay. So I think that when you add all the rookies, when you add Sammy Watkins, a few of these guys are going to step up. I think there's no doubt in my mind that is going to happen. It could be Christian Watson. It could be Romeo Doubs. It could be Sammy Watkins. Maybe Allen Lazard has an insane season because he really has an opportunity to get a lot more targets in this offense. All these receivers have the ability. And I think, too, when you add in the fact that, I mean, these wide receivers have to be hearing the talk, at least somewhat, that everyone's saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers has no receivers, which I think when you're playing with that underdog mentality, when everyone's telling you you're not going to be good, that you're not good enough for Aaron Rodgers, I think that probably lights some kind of fire inside of them. And then, too, when you're Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't need extra motivation, but I think we've seen in the past that when he has it, he's even better. So there's lots of people doubting Aaron Rodgers right now, which honestly is not a bad position, I think, for the Packers offense to be in. People saying, oh, they're not going to be good. That's just going to make them, I honestly think, that much better, because if everyone expected them to come in and dominate, it's like, I think you can still dominate if people think you're going to dominate. But the fact that people believe the Packers offense is not going to be as good as last year, I think could lead to some magic on this offense, because we are underrated. So when we look at this Packers team when it comes to looking around the rest of the NFL, the rest of the NFC, Tom Brady came back, which I think still makes that Buccaneers team very, very dangerous, because even though I love Aaron Rodgers, even though I'm a Packers fan, there's no doubt Tom Brady is, the GOAT. The GOAT when it comes to quarterbacks. You could argue talent. I still think Rodgers is more talented than Tom Brady, and Tom Brady just has more Super Bowls. But the Buccaneers are still a team to watch for when it comes to, playoff seeding. Definitely the Rams, still a very solid team. There are other teams in the NFC that I think could compete, but I still think this Packers team has that ability to be the number one seed once again. We did it last year, and unfortunately, we couldn't, we couldn't convert. We couldn't get over that 49ers team, which was shocking to me. I think that every year we've seen this Packers team lose in the playoffs, it's been for different reasons, and I feel like when we lose in a certain way in the playoffs, coming to the next season, we're just hoping that one thing doesn't happen again. Like back in the day, it was hopefully the Packers rushing defense doesn't allow 200 yards rushing. That happened a couple of times, and then versus the Buccaneers, Kevin King struggled in that game, which I think was a big reason that we lost that game. Clearly, there are other factors. The offense couldn't convert in the end. But every year, something different has happened. So just because last year the Packers offense wasn't able to put up more than 10 points versus the 49ers, that's not necessarily going to be the issue they need to get over. I think that every year is different. Every year is new and fresh. And so there's new things that the Packers will have to deal with, and we'll see how they look throughout the season. But as I said earlier, with this defense, I just don't see the Packers not making the playoffs. I think that's, to think the Packers won't make the playoffs, I think is a little crazy when you look at the talent here. And I think that most people probably expect the Packers to make the playoffs. So let me know if you think they aren't, if you think they are in the comments down below. But just everything is adding up for this team. And of course, there's so many talented other teams in the NFL. There's so many talented teams in the AFC. So even if the Packers do make the Super Bowl, they're going to, face a very, very good team, and you never know what could happen to any given Sunday. Just like last year versus the 49ers, the Packers couldn't take down the 49ers, which I think most people expected them to do. So you never know what could happen, and it's really a game of inches, but I do think the Packers have what it takes, especially on defense, to really go far. And then, to end it off, we have Aaron Rodgers. Back-to-back MVPs. He's been a baller his entire career. And I think he is going to elevate the play of everyone around him, as he has time and time again. So I don't think it really matters who is around Aaron Rodgers. But I would like if the Packers added a Julio and Odell. Why not? Why not add some more talent to this roster? I'm not opposed for the Packers to do that. So I hope they do that, just because it can be exciting. And I'm all for excitement. So hopefully that happens. But that's all I wanted to really cover today. And if you guys want to stay up to date with all things Packers, I break it down all on this channel. So feel free to subscribe to the channel down below. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. If you watch this far, congrats. You may be one of the only ones, who knows. So you get a secret message, and that is just have a great day. So thanks for watching, and look forward to the secret message next time.